Oh, I
I
guess
see we
we
have
should kick.
the chat. Welcome over.
Yes, welcome everybody.
Should
Hey
we
guys,
kick the
So,
recording here?
what did you say?
yeah, listening in too.
Nice, nice. Welcome over.
Should we record this?
Yeah, I think we can start
Welcome,
recording.
Protoverse.
We already started the recording.
Yes, I've already started recording.
So, I guess we can jump straight on the I guess we can start with a little bit of updates. We have added since last meeting onto a white paper or light paper, sorry, a model for Commonwealth, a Commonwealth pool, which will be this will be delegated to the community to vote on what those tokens is going to be utilized for. This will hopefully go towards new infrastructure pieces, whatever else community decides upon, and yeah, of course supported by the team. Yeah, our private sale is going quite nicely. We are currently at 31 BNB, if I'm not mistaken. We know that there is more coming in the next days. We are closing up to 3 days left. Yeah, we are also preparing some key points for the marketing for the pre-sale, and we also have some interesting reward structures for our pre-sale, the private sale investors. More about that will come probably towards the end of the pre-sale. Yeah. What else should we touch on? We are also expanding to new platforms. Our Discord is up and running. We just launched our Medium user, which will be used over time to update for new things, but also we'll hopefully have more informative content also from things that is happening around the space and whatnot. Yeah, otherwise the team is working pretty much around the clock. There is somebody working. We are already a quite global team that is working from different corners of the world.
Lax would like to know what orcas means.
So Orcas is a community that we have had running for just about 3 years now, I think. 2.5, 3 years, something like this. It's a group of, I would say, like-minded individuals, but I'm not sure if that's correct. More, it's a group of developers, group of we have market makers in there. We have people from around the space in crypto, but also outside of crypto, focused on building tomorrow's solutions more. So Orcas is one of the backing communities, so to say. They are that is helping Orcas to that is helping Pandora's to flourish and market. Most of the members you see in here is because of the efforts from the Orca members that has been spreading to their connections and whatnot. And we will be working closely with Orcas all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she just wants to know about how long we've known each other, I guess. Well, all of us.
So, as it is a growing community, some members are newer, but majority of the members have been in there for a year plus. And as mentioned, some of us has known each other for more than 3 years, and so even from before we started Orcas, we had a few other groups that we were active in before, and yeah. So for some time already, some of the key core members we have known each other for some years already.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Very enjoyable several years. Let's put it that way.
I will actually take and drop a link to our public community if somebody is interested in joining that. You're all very welcome.
Hey guys, I have a question. Actually, I'm Camelo over from Protoverse. Thank you. So I think it's no secret that we spoke with you guys. Was it yesterday or the day before? The days run into each other for me.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. And it is very clear that you guys, it seems that you have what you want to make, and you have, that level of integrity, and it sounded like a lot of things aligned of that, and I look forward to discussing more everything like we spoke about. But a idea could be, for example, that we could, when you are ready with those aspects for the community building aspects, we could actually utilize, for example, Proto Rush, the on-chain game, to make something together where we can put some prizes together, and then allow our communities to play together and see who can win the prizes. That should be both fun for everybody and help also, because I know community is also important for you guys, and it's also you like the community interaction and all these aspects. And I think Proto Rush could actually help with that without because it's on the Polygon Mumbai testnet, so there's no risk in it. It's free money people will play with right now, but we could make it, we used it to get some data on these different aspects, just to check everything is okay before we go on the mainnet with it, together with a token. Then yeah, I think it could really be fun to make something like that.
For sure. I was looking a little bit into what you were doing, and it looks like a fun thing to do, and it was also always fun to have the communities work how to say against each other, but together in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. And that won't need anything additional than we make some prices together, and then make it fun, and people enjoy it. We have people enjoy it a lot, and it's really good to have some fun. But we are open for that if you wish that. I didn't want to interrupt your AMA
competition.
No, not at all. You're not interrupting. You actually reminded me of another point. We are also looking at giveaways and prizes for things like this, like through games and whatnot. Once everything is up and running, that is also in our timeline to push forward, to engage community, and the feeling of actually doing something together. So yeah. Well, good point.
Super. That sounds good. And I can see that Indy is here from CryptoZin also, and we are actually also preparing something with them for giveaways. I'm not sure how much I can say right now. It's going to be really, really fun. I can introduce more when we are ready to disclose more information. I think that could be really also something that your community will find very fun. I have a question about your token. It's going to be on a Binance Smart Chain, correct?
In the beginning, yes. We do have plans to fork over to, not fork, we're planning on bridging over to other chains as the ecosystem grows. Exactly the timeline for this is not set yet.
So are you going to like open, have you spoken about, are you going to open different liquidity pools on the different chain? Are you going to instead focus it on one blockchain's liquidity pool to not, dilute the activities from spread it too far, but instead try to attract people from the different chains over to you?
So this is all currently under discussion within the team, and I assume that when the time comes, we will have a vote from the community on how to do this. This is already written into the light paper that when a set time comes, there will be an unlock of parts of the liquidity, and then there will be a vote from there to set if we want to continue with the same lock, or we want to split that liquidity into either several trade platforms, or we want to build it on different blockchains, or how we want to do this. We will not take the final decision on that.
Hey,
No.
Syrian, can I just add that it's impossible to dilute if you go cross-chain, because if you look at, of course, I'm going to name a few big projects out there, but if you look at Binance's BNB coin or any other token out there, right? Whoever went cross-chain into a few blockchains, they never diluted, they only expanded. Sorry for the noise because it's really loud. But the thing is that when projects go cross-chain, they actually get few liquidity pools from each blockchain, so they cannot dilute. They only become bigger. Imagine if Binance only did Binance, right, and they didn't want to expand to Cardano and let their tokens be used on the marketplace, or Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything like that, they wouldn't be as big as they are. So any projects these days that actually go cross-chain, they become bigger. Just for the reason that the whole market right now is a very weird place and it's very stagnating.
I agree, and I disagree, because I agree when you're speaking about the established project, and you're speaking about, if it's done properly, yes, then it can be a really good thing, but there needs to be enough activities to be able to, also, of course, there's always, the chance for people to make arbitrage and all these different aspects of it. But yeah, it's a healthy discussion to have for you guys, of course. And I can hear, yeah, you have already been thinking about a lot about it.
Yeah, we have been going over a few aspects, and as Shem was mentioning, like, it might add to it, and it might also give possibilities for us to start adding different pools to the to our earnings as well, which means that we can expand into different networks and whatnot. But all this is still in its early phases, and I can't really say anything definite as of yet.
I understand. And when you reach that point, remember, just a friendly suggestion is a good thing is that you add equally on each of the blockchains of liquidity, because it will create usually a much better result if it's equal on each blockchain.
Oh, for sure. This I'm aware of.
Super. Okay.
I think I have a very good thing to add to your to the thing you mentioned. Imagine launch pads, right? Take Unicrypt, take DXSale, take PinkSale. I know it's a little bit of a weird comparison, but you will understand what I mean. Imagine if those launch pads were only launched on Binance and never bothered to go on Chronos or Polygon Matic or anywhere else. In reality, the more people, the more projects expand, the more investors they have, and obviously the more investors that come into the project, the easier it is to keep the activity of the project. It's usually the projects, if you really do like your due diligence and look at the projects that are dying, it's usually those projects whose market cap goes low, and they're usually only on one blockchain and they're stuck. They're like, they don't have the funds. And then if they want to go to the other blockchain, usually the investors who already invested in the token, they, instead of looking at the big picture, they get scared and they're like, oh no, we shouldn't go to the other blockchain because everybody else is going to make money. And instead of them understanding that the people from the other blockchain can realize, hey, there's the same token on the other blockchain for a different price, right? The token doesn't have to be the same token. It can be with a different address just because of the arbitrage. But usually these things really never go wrong. Obviously, everything has to be planned correctly. As Syrian said, everything is under thinking. But whenever you really look at the bigger picture of those projects, whoever goes cross-chain, they succeed 100%. I think you have to be completely incompetent to cross on multiple chains and fail, really.
Well, listen, I agree fully about you. Cross-chain capability is absolutely necessary, especially, I agree, in this market. And that's why, like, our infrastructure is all about, you know, cross-chain capability, multi-chain, and limitless currency. So I agree, like 100%. One thing is those aspects. Another thing is having, you know, the different liquidity pools on the different blockchains. But if it's set up correctly and it's timed correctly, also with all aspects of marketing and so on, yes, for sure, for sure.
So I want to touch a little bit. There was a question in the group that was, without giving too much away, what are some ways which the team is planning on preserving longevity on the upcoming months? We have a series of both infrastructure pieces that is going to come into play, most of which is going to be released over the next, I want to say the next month, but I will add months just to make sure that we are ready to release, not to promise anything. We're also working on partnerships, as for example with Protoverse and a few others that we are in contact with. How exactly this will look like and whatnot is still in the making, which will help us also with infrastructure pieces and utility with the token. We're also looking into having competitions when it comes to liquidity, which means that the top wallets that is trading our tokens will have a set amount of tokens as rewards. Not our native token, it will be rewards in BNB or other tokens. Also, I can add that one of the pieces we're working on is the NFT series, which is going to be a little bit unique in the sense that it's going to have value backing it. More of that will come out later, and that will also enforce the token value, but also token backing, as our token was going to have a treasury wallet and a set of infrastructure pieces to make sure that there is an intrinsic value to our token and not just the market value. I hope that clarifies some of it at least. No worries. Any other questions somebody has? It's always interesting to answer questions.
About your token, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is the control going to be at first until you, of course, have a running DAO? How is, you know, everything about the centralization risk and all these different aspects?
So we are currently looking into ways of verifying people, our holders, through either Discord server or other measures to make sure that we can give voting rights to people, individual people, not necessarily to how to say token holding in the beginning, but to have the like a minimum and a maximum, or no, a minimum holding will give you as a person a right to vote. Otherwise, I assume that certain things will be a little bit more centralized in the beginning than it will be over time when we have the voting structure. We were talking with you guys yesterday about your voting structure that you're building for Protoverse. We hope to engage with that, but let's see how that goes further down the road. Yeah, exactly how this is going to look like, we don't know yet. To be honest, we're still looking into options.
Okay. I mean, a good way could be to time lock those different. It was more on a contract level. I was speaking about on the near term, depending, of course, the different aspects of it. But a good way could be to time lock the critical function calls in the contract, and of course use multi-signature wallets, and those two combined provide a more secure, because the time lock provide people a chance to react if they don't, agree with a function. But it's something definitely, I hope you guys will be looking at.
We're looking into certain type of rewarded time lock mechanisms. Yet again, here we are looking into several features and several infrastructure providers, and we're also looking into if we have to create ourselves. That depends on what we find and what not. But good points. There is a question if we have planned anything planned in any ways to make the volume increase in case it gets low. So this partially will go to marketing. We are making lists and making plans on how to market it, but it also goes into certain partnerships. We're looking into partnering with some liquidity providers, so to say, or market makers. How this will look like, if we're going to manage, or what is going to, this is too early to say, to be honest. And also hopefully the liquidity competition will help with that as well, as there is a reward in the end for whoever has the highest volume.
Yes, and I know I can tell that they are, you guys spoke to us about it also yesterday, that it is one of the aspects you're looking at, because in this market it is, of course, a crucial thing.
Yeah, it's crucial also that we how to say, and this is also one of the reasons, like if you look at one of the reasons we have so low, or that we keep the tax, so to say, to 6%, at the same time as the majority of the market has 10%, 15% fees, is that we want it to be tradable. We don't want to stop the trading possibility of the token, because that will stop the productivity and that will stop the whole project in its tracks. So we are looking into several ways of doing that, but yeah, the team is looking into several ways to do it. That's pretty much all I can say at this point. And also, I believe that once we start building up treasury, and once we start building up the different wallets, they will also be voted upon by community, the different ways that we will either incentivize or market, or we're always open for innovative inputs on this manner.
Nice.
Yeah, who else has some questions? We want the hard questions.
KYC, I believe. Is anybody KYC?
So everybody in the team is KYC'd to Phoenix Rising, which is a company that is based in Estonia that is under my holding. We are looking into either to use some of the third-party providers to not publicly dox, but to dox into these providers to ensure the holders' security, so to say. Yeah. How exactly this is going to? Huh? Oh, I'm hearing myself.
No, well, I was glad that you were, open for the idea to use somebody like KYC from Certic, so you get that KYC badge. So I was really happy to hear that. And I think many people will appreciate things like that.
For sure, and this is something that we are here not to build something for short term. We want to make sure that this is long term, and this is one of the things that I see that is necessary for the safe feeling of the holders, but also for the community itself to make sure that things actually run like it's supposed to. So 100%. Is there a plan to reward holders? Yes, there is. We are looking into several ways, both through NFTs, airdrops, through other reward models of value rewards. We also have a few other infrastructure pieces that we're going to create over the next year or so. This is also going to be tokenized, which will be airdropped to the holders of this token. So yes, there is quite a few plans actually to reward our holders.
What about long term? Would these rewards fit into any other systems that we may or may not be releasing that we can talk about now?
I'm not sure actually what you're referring to. I'm not sure directly what you're talking about.
Like more so because you mentioned Phoenix Rising, so I'm sure that probably brought up some questions. Are there any other reward systems that we can talk about at the moment that will be basically sprouting off from Pandora's box?
I think it's a little bit too early to come up with these reward models, but there is going to be competitions. There is going to be also each NFT is going to function as a lottery ticket, so to say, where there is pools that is building up that goes to different rewards, and that goes to the NFT holders, and yeah, but that is a bit of a different part of the ecosystem. But of course, this will in itself increase volume in the NFTs, which will increase the backing and the value of the token itself through different mechanisms.
Awesome. And then are there any other clues about the function of these NFTs that we can give an overview of to kind of help the community understand that this is not just a standard NFT project. This is actually meant to bring NFTs out not only in an artistic manner but also in other applications.
So what directly to answer to your question, I don't want to answer that, but I can answer more that our NFTs will have a physical backing. That I can say. And which means that each NFT is going to have an intrinsic value beyond what the actual art or whatever it is on it. Personally, I don't really believe too much in the standard JPEG NFT market, so to say. And we are here. One of our main goals of the NFT project is to bring new value structures to this. I guess that's what I can say for now.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. Appreciate it.
Are there any
Is
more
there
questions?
any? I was going to say, is there anything that we can not leak release in here as a somewhat teaser of what is to come that we haven't touched on before?
I think most of what we can release has been touched upon already. Most of it, to my awareness at least. You can shoot me a DM if you disagree.
Yeah, no, I figured we went over quite a few points, and I think we already did just give away a little bit more than we usually do. So, in terms of the multi chain stuff. So, yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? The harder the better. That always helps with us as well in the background, rather than just the normal average questions we get in an AMA. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess with that we have 3 days left in our private sale. So if you haven't grabbed your small bag or big bag or however size bag you want, make sure that you get in 21% cheaper than launch price. And I know that we're going to be doing some fun things on top of what we're already sort of doing for the private sale investors. And those people are going to be supported long term through quite a few different things we have planned. Um, Other than that, yeah, happy to have everybody here.
So there is a question. Do you know which other currencies or currency you want to launch after? What do you mean by that? Like, do you mean by which other platforms or other EVM chains we're going to launch on, or what do you refer to? Yeah. Okay. So we are looking into a few platforms. Most likely, we're going into Matic. We are looking into potentially launching on Ethereum as well. What order or when or where and all of that depends a little bit on a few factors that is not set in stone yet. There is also a possibility that we will launch on Kronos, but yet again, nothing is set in stone.
But Kronos is very hot right now. I've been hearing a lot of things. It's really exploding.
Yeah, we have been looking into Kronos for some time already. We had the idea of launching on Kronos initially, but we decided on going to Binance Coin because a lot of our ecosystem partners and connections are based in on Binance, which makes it easier for us to integrate with them from early on instead. But
Nice.
yeah.
That's really good. Actually, I have some extra news that we can't discuss right now, but later on we can discuss concerning Kronos as well.
Nice.
Oh, we got another good question.
The only challenge about Kronos is that I'm seeing some of the project for with bridges and so on started to move away a little bit from, and the challenge with them is like they have different restrictions of how many transactions can go through at the same time. That create delays and that create a lot of different aspects of it.
Do you mean the like as in the fee structure split?
Yeah, well, imagine you have this bridge and you have like 1,000 people transaction going through driving through the bridge, and but they're only allowing 50 people or 50 cars to pass every time. And that means that it create a lot of delays on the aspects of crossing over more so you have it in mind when it comes to arbitrage and it comes to these different opportunities to provide for people, because we have also been looking at Chronos, and that is one of the aspects holding us back right now.
I think the
Yeah,
most
I was not.
important thing is if cross chain happens. I think, at least in my opinion, this, of course, we haven't discussed this thoroughly to agree on this, but I think as long as we don't have one smart contract, we shouldn't worry about anything. So if we have two liquidity pools, we don't have to worry about arbitrage or letting people go through 50 transactions at a time. These are the things that are very complicated. Usually when you're doing this kind of migration and you want to have one smart contract, you need to have a really, really, really high expert in solidity, because one issue, like one number, can destroy the whole the whole migration. So that's really important.
Yeah, but one of the aspects of having the liquidity pools on different blockchains is that helps stabilize everything. Is that people will, for example, if they see there is some movement on Chronos, for example, with the token, they jump over to Chronos and do their activities, and then they cross over to the other blockchain where they have some arbitrage opportunities, and that actually helps stabilize things more and bring more volume in. So that's
It
what I
does.
meant.
It does to one. I understand what you mean. That can help to one or two or three people, and it can end up robbing the other thousands if they take advantage of that arbitrage. So, I mean, it's a very difficult subject to discuss. Not that I don't want to. I mean, we would just discuss this for a very long time. I understand exactly what you mean. It's a good thing. But I think that projects that make different liquidity pools, at least from my personal experience, and then if they incentivize the communities on both ends not to sell and to invest with good tokenomics or rewards or buybacks, burns, whatever, it just makes the project stronger, rather than having 2-3 people discover an arbitrage and then screw everybody else over, including the project, of course.
Yes, of course, it's a careful balance. It's a careful balance. And yes, it is a discussion for another time because it's a lengthy one. But yeah.
Yeah, it's there is a lot to take into account when it comes to all of these things. We are slowly but surely compiling the pros and the cons for each. How to say?
But it's
for
good to
each
hear
chain.
that you guys have some strong, opinions about the different subjects, because it is those opinions that will, lay the foundation that everything is well thought through, because people have this different, opinions of things, and that means it opens up for some good discussion between you guys, and that, it will make your community win at the end.
Well, that's the idea. That everybody should win in the end.
Yes, indeed.
There was
Hey,
one
thanks
more
for your words.
question. There was one more question. Are we eyeing any specific exchange listings? Currently, no. We are not looking at any exchange listings when it comes to outside of the decentralized exchanges. Part of this is because inside of majority, at least, of the central exchanges, we will not be able to have the opportunity of claiming the fees of the on-chain transactions, except for when people enter and exit the exchange. How this will look like down the line is we don't know, because I know that several of the exchanges are looking into this community token model and how to incentivize that on-chain, so to say. But this will be set. This is a little bit on ice for now, at least. But it is definitely a subject for later discussion.
Yeah, and that can that can even also be solved outside of the exchanges with a distributor contract where these kind of taxes will be allocated. And but yeah, like you say, it's something that can be looked into at the proper time, because you also people need to remember that with centralized exchanges, it requires, letter of opinions from lawyers that it's a token is not a security. It requires, different aspects from a project to deliver on. And mainly, if you're looking at some of the, when you're looking at the good exchanges, it will require there is volume. There's volume, there is a good active community. All these different aspects has to be proven first. So I agree with you guys that first of all, it is on the decentralized ones where you will prove everything. At the same time, you will also, your project can evolve and be ready at the right time to also initiate these discussions. And when that time comes, we can have a discussion like I explained yesterday, and we can make sure you get into the right connections also on that aspect.
So another question. Liquidity will be locked for how long? We are initially thinking 6 months for majority of it, and for half or more. For the other half, we will probably set some longer and some shorter locks due to other opportunities of either bridging over or to have we're working on some burning models that we're also going to implement. And it's not going to be burning, it's going to be token reallocation models that is going to boost the treasury holding through OTC sales. So this is exact model of this will be released in hopefully shortly. And ownership will not be renounced. Definitely not. That will be under.
Happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Sorry to interrupt you, because it is the most insane thing to do. If you want to be in the space for a long time, when people do that, it's like you're giving away anything you can do at all, and that means if something happens, you basically, sorry for my French, you're screwed. Your community is screwed.
Definitely, and if there is some exploits or whatever, we need to be able to fix it fast. And I see exactly what you're saying. This is not even in our minds to think about. So the token contract will be locked into a multi-sig wallet through some of our trusted partners inside of the team. That's what I can say about that.
The model where the contract is you said you can't say more. Sorry, I'm going to bite my tongue.
Yes, we are going to be audited before even before token launch. And whenever we do new infrastructure pieces or new code additions or whatever, this is going to be audited before we implement it.
Actually, we can do. Sorry, I'll tell you later. I don't want to talk about it here.
Better.
This is why I'd be muted for the majority of this conversation.
Exactly.
Let's just the team. We are very talkative and we talk a lot between each other, and we're going over a lot of aspects. So it's kind of hard sometimes to keep our mouth shut. But at the same time, we don't want to put out details that is not been finalized, and we don't want to promise anything that is not ready for us to put out there, because so many projects, they overpromise, and then over time, like, everybody's waiting for something that might not even happen. So because of that, we
I think the worst part is that we talk and work so much that, like, whenever we have an AMA, we keep forgetting that we have an AMA, and we just have to restrain ourselves.
So there was another question. What is max for private sale? There is no max for private sale. There is a minimum of 0.2 BNB. but there is no max.
Is there a vesting period?
No, there is not.
Well,
But
okay,
there
the
will
difference.
but there is
Yeah.
a list of reward models for the people that will be holding. So I'm pretty sure that those who will be with us for the duration, they will be fairly rewarded, not just from this project, but from a few other projects that we are both building and partnering with. So, yeah. Any
Well,
other?
I look forward to speaking with you guys. I need to jump, but I will be looking forward to our future discussions. I like your guys and how you think and the way you want to do things, and that you're very community minded. That's really really important to us.
Thank you very much for that, and I'm looking forward to our future conversations as well.
Yeah,
And that
same
goes
here.
back to
Thank
you
you.
also. We like how you guys are working also with community in mind and with models that you're building to not just incentivize but enforce other projects as well as your own. It's yeah, it's inspiring.
Well,
Very
likewise,
inspiring, yeah.
likewise, guys,
Yeah.
likewise.
And I'd
It's
like to
really
say
good.
I'm very, very.
Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'd just like to say I'm very, very thankful for the people that we've met along the way. Not just with you guys, but with quite a few other people. It's it takes what would have been assumed to be what crypto is now, and actually kind of reversed it back to having the ability to not be so in the dark from an average project's eyes. I mean, if it just goes to show if you're building something that is worth it, you can make it work, and people will be interested in it.
So there was another. Yeah, there is no hard cap of private sale. The hard cap will be what? How to say? The cap will be when we are finished, which will be at 23:59 UTC at the 22nd of April. So that's in 3 days. So there is another question. When is the launch? We are hoping to launch within the end of next month. Exactly how this is going to look like and when this is, we cannot comment exactly, because it depends on our developers and how fast that is going to be finalized with the contract, and it also depends on the audit and yeah. But we're working tirelessly, let's just put it like this, to make sure that it happens as fast as possible, but at the same time having all the pieces put together before we do that.
Someone asked what's in the box. I don't know if we could answer that one. This is spin some positivity on it.
Well, what is the box? What's it even made of?
I mean, is it a box? Like, I mean, the reality is, it could be anything, couldn't it? It just has to open.
Very, very specific. No, what I can say about what's in the box is that there is a whole ecosystem there is a whole ecosystem in the box that is going to be unboxed.
The idea is to be outside the box. I'd just like to go out there and say that we are almost at our 220 members, or 222.
Yeah, once we have a giveaway to one lucky community member once we reach 222 members. Um we have one that is going on Twitter, and we have one that is going in our Telegram. So the winner will get the allocation of 200.222 BNB from our private sale. If the person has already invested in the private sale, we will give an allocation of 0.555 to that person, BNB worth. So yeah,
Just a
we
little
are
giveaway.
excited.
Yeah, and
We are
it's
excited.
just part of our nice, beautiful ecosystem.
And to revisit the what's in the box question, unfortunately, because of what's in the box and the fact that it's literally never been done before in the crypto space, we will not be disclosing that information at all. However,
But
what
it will be
the team
considered.
what the team is considering is that we will come up with a chart of goals for our private and pre-sale, and if we hit a certain goal by the end of pre-sale, or actually, sorry, please correct me, Sir Tokenomics. I don't want to cross lines there, but I do believe. Say again.
I kind of want to stop you altogether.
Okay. Well, if I'm giving away too much, stop me. I was just saying we could provide a budget of some type for the item that would go into the box, and so.
Well, is it an item? Or
Well, let's not let's not ask that question, please.
oh no.
But yeah.
To add on that note, we have some incentive models and reward models that will
Your mind.
not blow some minds, but also incentivize more holders and more community members and more engagement in community over time.
Some of yeah.
I think we should leave it at that, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than some of them will go from 0 to 100 quick.
We leave it at that.
Yeah.
And I'm
So yeah, anyone else have any more questions? One last question here. Yes, please shoot out. Will the rewards in BNB be sent directly to the wallet once the tokenomics take place? No, they will not. So this will be done through. So I was talking to our developer today actually to finalize this portion. There will be a claim wallet, basically that you can get your allocation percentage based to your holding once every second week. But that also which means that every 2 weeks we will fund this wallet, which will which will give everybody a chance of 2 weeks to claim their holding. And the holding that is not being claimed goes directly into the treasury wallet to incentivize the ecosystem at large. Which means that once every 2 weeks you have to go claim your tokens. If I hope that clarifies your question. We appreciate
We
you as well.
appreciate you too as well. Oh boy, there was some feedback on that one.
So we're doing everything we can in every direction we can, both from tokenomics perspective, from code perspective, from community perspective, to make sure that this is not just a short-term gig. Like already mentioned, most of the team already know each other from before. We come from Orcas, a community that's we take pride in being stable, so to say. We have been around for a long time, and we plan to be around for a very long time to come as well. And our goal is sustainability in both in everything we touch. Basically, is sustainability is our main goal.
With that, we can wrap up.
Yeah. If nobody has any more questions, I assume we can start wrapping up.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
We actually had a lot of good questions to answer in this one. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, we appreciate all of everybody that joined, and we also appreciate everybody that will listen to this on later recording. And I hope to see all of you around. And let's do this.
Let's
Yeah,
fucking go.